What's going on, everybody? This is Kenneth Grunfelder back at you with another video. This will be my recap of the Yankees' three-game set with the Colorado Rockies, their first series back from the All-Star break, and it did not go well. The Rockies ended up taking 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, so I'm going to go through each game and then kind of just give my overall thoughts after that. So the first game, the Yankees lost 7-2. Carlos Rodon made his second start since coming back from the IL, and he went 5 innings, gave up 4 earned runs. He had 6 strikeouts. You could tell that he was struggling with his command. He's still not fully, stretched out yet. So I'm not really worried about him. And, a lot of people always talk about how Colorado is kind of like a fluky place to play. So I'm not really going to freak out over Rodon. Now, obviously the Yankees made a change when it came to the hitting coach. Firing Dylan Lawson, which I talked about in the last video that I did, bringing in Sean Casey, and it actually got off to a good start. Gleyber Torres led off the game with the hit, and then Giancarlo Stanton had a 2-run home run. So the Yankees went up 2-0, and you thought, hey, there we go. This is the start that we needed. Rockies didn't do anything in the bottom of the first, but then they put up a 3 spot. Then they got a run in the 4th, 2 in the 7th, and then 1 in the 8th. So a couple of home runs the Yankees gave up. Randall Grichuk, most notably, just because he's a guy that, with the Blue Jays, going back to the Blue Jays days, he would kill the Yankees. So you had that. Chris Bryant hit a home run as well. Yeah, so it was not a good game. Michael King, they brought in when it was a 4-2 game, and he gave up 2 earned runs. Out Abreu gave up an earned run as well. Michael King has been another guy that's been struggling. So, and we'll get into more as we go through these games. But it was kind of more of the same with this game. DJ LeMahieu had 2 hits. Gleyber Torres had 3 hits. Stanton had 2 hits. So there were some positives to take away from this game, but yeah, it was pretty forgettable. So the second game, the Yankees actually, they put up a 6 spot in the first 2 innings and then didn't score again. They ended up winning 6-3. Clark Schmidt, he was the star of the game. He was a guy that, was plugged in because of, some of the injuries to the rotation. Didn't get off to a good start, but he has really turned it on over his last several starts. And, he got his record back to 5-6. He went 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts. And then you had Wandy Peralta, Canely, and Holmes nail it down. Canely actually gave up his first run of the year in that game, but it really didn't matter. The Yankees were able to win that game. DJ LeMahieu had 3 hits. Stanton had a 3-run homer in that game as well, and Gleyber Torres had 2 more hits. So that was a good win. And you thought, hey, you got Garrett Cole on the mound. Take 2 out of 3 and then head to Anaheim to face the Angels, and that did not happen. The Yankees, for a while, were losing 1-0 in the final game of the series. They were going up against another pitcher with a 6+ ERA going in, and it was the same thing in the first game as well. I forgot to mention that. But Garrett Cole pitched 6 innings, gave up 1 run, and they were up 3-1 going into the bottom of the 8th, and you thought the bullpen's going to nail it down and they're going to win 2 out of 3. And that was not the case. Tommy Canely, for some reason, just didn't have it. Got the bases loaded. Clay Holmes came in and gave up a grand slam to C.J. Cron, and the Yankees were down 5-3 going into the 9th inning, and they were able to they were gifted 2 runs, and they were able to tie the game. Went into extras. Another base running mistake. Bader gets thrown out at third, being the ghost runner. And I thought, well, then now the game's over. But the Rockies actually ended up not scoring in the bottom of the 10th. Ian Hamilton did a good job pitching in his appearance. And then the Yankees scored 2 runs in the top of the 11th, and you thought, well, this is going to be it right here. But that was not the case. Nick Ramirez gave up a 2-run home run, and then Marinaccio gave up a home run, the game-winning home run, and the Yankees ended up losing 8-7. So they gave up a home run to Alan Trejo, who did not have a home run all season, and John Flaherty said that, and right as he said that, that ended up happening, and they ended up losing the game. Also, another thing, and I like John Flaherty as an analyst, but the Nolan Jones home run, which tied the game at 7 in extras, when it was hit, he said popped up. And I was thinking, okay, but the ball just kept traveling and traveling and traveling, and then it went out, and that ended up tying the game. So that was just something that kind of irked me a little bit, but I'm not going to bash John Flaherty. This is not his fault. This is the Yankees. So again, like I said, the Yankees, went up against a pitcher that had a 6 ERA, and they really couldn't do anything against him. And Gerrit Cole actually, the only thing I would complain about with Gerrit Cole's start, he had 11 strikeouts. The one earned run was against a guy that was batting, I believe, going into the game, he was batting like 167. So I don't understand how the Yankees pitching just gives up home runs to these guys that are having terrible years. And again, the walk-off home run was a guy that hadn't had a home run all season. So yeah, not a good series for the Yankees. And, I see it everywhere. The base running mistakes, and, everybody's talking about firing Boone and Cashman and how the offense just continues to, not produce. You know what? The final game of this series, this was on the bullpen. And you can put the blame on Boone because, listen, Nick Ramirez, they put a lot of faith in a lot of these guys. Nick Ramirez is one of them. He's another reliever I don't trust. But you know what the problem is? He's one of the 2 lefties that we have in this bullpen. It's him and Wandy Peralta, and that's it. And you thought, hey, Nolan Jones is a lefty. We're going to put Nick Ramirez in, and he gives up a home run immediately to tie the game at 7 in extras. The bullpen just, was terrible, and it hasn't been good recently. It really has not. The Cubs series, it wasn't that good either. Canely, I don't know what happened, and I'm not going to get mad at Canely. Canely's been good all year. He finally, showed that he's human, and he, gave up some runs in this game, in this series. Obviously, Clay Holmes has been dominant as well, and he was the one that gave up the grand slam to C.J. Cron with 2 outs. And, for people that are listening, you know how crazy I get when the Yankees give up 2 runs, or give up runs with 2 outs. That's just something that just cannot happen. But, I don't really know what to say. I feel like the final game of this series, that kind of just, for me, I feel like the season's kind of like teetering in the balance, and it could possibly be over because now the bullpen is not producing. It's not doing well. And this is with the Yankees putting up 7 runs. Josh Donaldson, I forgot to mention that. He got put on the IL. You bring up Peraza. He gets a big hit. He gets that insurance run in the top of the 10th or the top of the 11th, whatever it was. I don't even remember now. I just put my phone down. Yeah, whatever it was to put the Yankees up 7-5. Yeah, it was in the top of the 11th inning. He gets that insurance run. Oswaldo Cabrera, he had a hit before that. So the young guys, produced for the Yankees. And, the bullpen just did not produce. It just didn't. And right now the Yankees are in last place. They're tied for last place. Right now as I'm recording this, they're 2 games out of a wild card spot. And it's like, when is Judge coming back? Listen, Aaron Judge, with what happened today, I really don't think Aaron Judge would have made a difference. They put up 7 runs, and the bullpen blew it. They gave up a grand slam. You can't put Judge into pitch. Now, obviously, Judge would solve a lot of issues in terms of, the Yankees being able to get to pitchers that have 6 ERAs, 6+ ERAs. I just don't understand. The Rockies are, I believe right now, they're 22 games under 500 right now, and the Yankees again lose a series to a team like that. They lost to the Cubs. They kind of struggled with the A's a little bit. It's the Cardinals, who have been awful this year. There are so many teams that the Yankees have played this year, and they just do not play good against them. And it's weird because they took 2 out of 3 against the Rangers. They played well against the Mariners. And they split with the Orioles, but against these mediocre teams, they can't win series. And now they're going up against the Angels, who don't have Mike Trout, and they got to go face Ohtani, so that's going to be fun. But it was just awful. And I just, and I don't want to blame Aaron Boone, but I'm tired of him saying, like, we got to figure it out. We got, like, the repetition of what he says in his press conference is infuriating. Okay, the main problem with this team, the person that you got to really put all the blame on is Brian Cashman. That's really what it comes down to. They went into the season without a left fielder. The only major move that they really made was get Carlos Rodon. Okay, you bring back Judge, you bring back Rizzo, but you didn't do anything to fix the lineup. The lineup was the problem going into the season, and they did nothing to fix that. Now, the one thing you can credit him is that he always puts together a good bullpen, but now the bullpen has been awful recently. It's been terrible. And that's what's been keeping the Yankees kind of afloat. And now if that gives way, and on top of that, their lineup's not hitting, well, how is this team going to win any games? It's not. And it really is quickly looking like a lost season. It really is. And you don't know when Judge is coming back. I mean, he took batting practice, he was running, but they still have no idea when he's coming back. And even if he does, you know what? I think it's going to be too little too late. Right now, like I said, they sit 2 games out of the final wild card spot. But even if they squeak in, are they going to do anything? I mean, you got the Orioles who are, breathing down the Rays' neck for first place in the division. Okay, the Blue Jays are hot. And are you going to... So let me get this straight now. So now it comes down to the final wild card spot. You got the Red Sox there, and you have the Astros. But I think the Red Sox, the Yankees, I think, will finish ahead of them. Okay, I think they will, even though it doesn't look like that, because the Red Sox, they, smacked the Yankees around when they went to Fenway and played them for 3 games. So now let me get this straight. So if it comes down to the Yankees and the Astros, who are you going to put your money on if you were betting? The Yankees or the Astros? The Astros. The Yankees, now this is for a playoff spot. This isn't to go to the World Series or anything like that, or home field advantage. This is for the final wild card spot. And you know what? The Astros will take it. They got their problems. They're dealing with injuries. But you know what? When it's all said and done, when it comes down to between the Astros and the Yankees, you're going to take the Astros every single time. They are. You are. So, listen, I don't know what the Yankees are going to do. People are saying they should be sellers now at this point. They're not going to do that. They're just not going to do that. They are going to try everything they can to make sure this team makes the playoffs. And Cashman is going to make moves. They're going to get a left fielder. They might get another bat. I don't know. I'm just assuming. They're definitely going to get somebody. And now I'm hearing Randall Grichuk might be a possibility. They were talking about that. And listen, would that be an upgrade? Yes. The problem is it's another right-handed bat, and that is something the Yankees do not need. We need left-handed hitters in this lineup, whether it's Shohei Ohtani, whether it's Juan Soto, whether it's Cody Bellinger, whether it's Candelario on the Nationals to play third base. Okay? That's what the Yankees need. Now, I don't think they're getting Ohtani. I don't think they're getting Soto. Bellinger is their best bet, so they got to go out and get him. Okay? Now, they could surprise us all and get Ohtani or get Soto, and I would be thrilled. I'd be through the roof. But it's just not going to happen. What people are trying to do is they're trying to get people excited. Like, hey, this could happen. Buster Olney going on Get Up and saying the Yankees, could be very aggressive to get Ohtani. It's not happening. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to get Ohtani, and they're not going to get Soto. They're going to get somebody else, and that's going to be our left fielder. Because the Billy McKinneys, the Jake Bowers, the Willie Calhouns, Connor Falefa, I can't even say his name, playing left field. It's not working, okay? So, yeah, they're going to be buyers at the deadline. They're still over 500. They're 2 games back. As long as they're within striking distance, they're going to buy. They're not going to sell. And, people want them to bring up more of the young guys, bring up maybe a catching prospect. Austin Wells, I was watching a video on that. And it's just not going to happen. I think, however this season plays out, if they end up missing the playoffs, I think you'll definitely see some sort of a youth movement with some of these younger guys getting a shot next year. Because, I mean, you look at how some of the veterans are doing. I mean, LeMahieu, he had a good series against the Rockies, so maybe this is a bounce-back half for him here in the second half. But, I mean, Anthony Rizzo looks lost right now. He hasn't hit a home run in nearly 2 months, which how is that even real? How is that real? It just doesn't make sense. Now you got Donaldson on the IL again, so he's done. His tenure as a Yankee is over. I mean, if he comes back and they put him back in the lineup, I don't, like, what are you doing? At that point, it's like, yeah, you're trying to justify, the trade that you made with Minnesota, a couple years ago, or last year now. I don't know why I said a couple years ago. But anyways, It's not good right now. And Stanton's heating up. Gleyber Torres has been their hottest hitter right now. Volpe's kind of cooled off. You're not really getting any production out of the catching spot. It's not good. It's not good right now. The biggest concern right now is the bullpen, because if that continues, again, like I said, how are they going to win any? So for all the people that are saying they want them to sell, it's just not going to happen. It's just not. And the other thing that I just find very curious is, in 2021, they were a team that was wildly inconsistent, didn't run the bases well, and did not play very good defense. That was when Gleyber Torres was playing shortstop. They put Urshela there. Tyler Wade was playing there. And then they had Andrew Velasquez. He was playing shortstop, right? You had Luke Voit over at first base, who really wasn't that, a good defensive first baseman. Offense, is a different story. He was a productive offensive player for the Yankees, but defensively he wasn't that good. So you go into last year, you trade for Donaldson, you trade for Kiner Falefa to better your defense, supposedly. And, Brian Cashman said something about Gio Urshela. I forget. He kind of... I don't want to say he, trashed him, but, he kind of, he did kind of diss him a little bit. And basically said Donaldson is way better. Which, honestly, at this point... Urshela's out for the year right now with his injury with the Angels now. He's with the Angels. But, I think it was better off keep Urshela. And many Yankee fans agree with that. But you prioritized defense last year, right? And then you go into this year without a left fielder, and the defense has just taken a massive step back. You got Gleyber Torres making bad plays in the infield. And again, he's one of their hottest hitters. It's weird. So now all of a sudden defense isn't a priority. You got IKF playing the outfield. I don't understand. I guess they really just were banking on Hicks and Cabrera to be, at least one of them to be the left fielder, and that just blew up in their face. The defense is not good. It's just not. But, there's just so many problems with this team, whether it's base running, blunders. The ghost runner. That is supposed to be a freebie run that you can get. And how many times do you see the Yankees just fail to advance the ghost runner, or the ghost runner just gets thrown out? I can remember last year in Seattle. There were back-to-back innings the ghost runner would get thrown out. It's ridiculous. And listen, they went up 7-5, and you thought, well, okay, well, now they're going to win this game, and the bullpen blew it. It's just the bullpen's a problem. The base running, the defense, the offense. The starting pitching has been okay, but yeah. You got Colin Rodon, who you're supposed to be your 1A and your 1B, and those are going to be your top two starters if you get to the playoffs, and you can't you lose to the Colorado Rockies in the games that they start. So if that's the case, you go to the playoffs and you play in a 3-game wild card series against a much better team than the Rockies. How much confidence do Yankee fans have in you to win those games? Not on the pitchers, but on the lineup, when they have a history of struggling in the postseason. So they can't even beat the Rockies in a series in July, when the Rockies are, like I said, they're 20-plus games under 500. So, listen, the Yankees could keep saying, they're going to figure it out, they're going to be okay, they're frustrated, they're this, they're that, whatever. But the bottom line is this: they're not a very good baseball. They're just not. And I was watching Anthony Rizzo get interviewed after the game, and one of the questions was regarding the bad teams that you've played on, and Rizzo was just bad teams are 15 games under 500. It's shrug that off. It's that's a stupid question. It was a stupid question, but you know what? You're not a good team. You're just not. And for Yankee fans, not being a good team is being 6 games over 500. When you look at the Mets, that's a bad team. The Yankees right now are playing like a bad team. Their record is kind of inflated because of that stretch they had in May, which Hal Steinbrenner likes to, hang his hat on when he made an appearance on the Michael Kay show. We don't have Judge. Where's this team? Just like last year. And listen, Judge, if he doesn't come back till August, again, it's going to be too little too late, in my opinion. It really is. Because the Blue Jays really caught fire recently. I haven't really been keeping up specifically, but, they were kind of playing catch-up. They've now passed us. And, listen, the Blue Jays are better. They're better than the Yankees. The Orioles are way better. The Astros are better. I don't care. I don't care the injuries and whatnot, and the pitching's been a little suspect. The Astros are better too. And they're having a down year. This would have been the perfect opportunity for the Yankees. The Astros are having a down year. The Central is a mess. The Twins are like, I don't even know, like 2 games over 500. You got the Rays who are in first place, but they're beatable. The Yankees proved that even when they didn't have Judge for the week after he, had the injury diving into third base. This was their chance, but injuries just killed them. And yeah, they're where they are right now. But the problem that I have is what's the front office going to do after this year? Depending on what happens. Because like I did say a little bit before that you're going to see younger guys getting a chance. I do think that that's going to be a possibility next year, the near future in general. But what are the Yankees going to say to themselves after this year, depending on what happens? Because again, I think a championship is it's a pipe dream. It's not happening. I knew it wasn't happening going into this year anyways. Not with this lineup. What are they going to do? Are they going to look at this season and say, well, we had a lot of injuries. That's why we weren't as good as we were supposed to be. So when our team is healthy, we're going to go out there and we're going to have a really good year. And they're going to run it back with the same team and get nowhere again. That's what I'm worried about. And the other thing is, and this is a bigger thing, and I don't know if I did touch upon this in the last episode I did, but, I think I did a little bit, just having like the revelation, like I never really saw the Yankees win a lot of championships, and, growing up and hearing, all about how they were back then, through my parents and my grandparents, I don't really have the right to say the Yankees are, are supposed to win a championship every single year. And I don't think I ever really had that mindset. I think it was more of just like, hey, we haven't won since 2009. We got to get back there and win it, We can't be going, 14 plus years without winning a championship. Like, that just can't happen. But here we are. I just feel like with this Yankee, era that I've been a fan for, I feel like it's just a lot of excuses that are made with the Yankees. And I feel like the fan base is guilty of it too, in the sense that, with the Astros, oh, well, we would have made it if they didn't cheat. And even Brian Cashman said it too. The Astros cheated. Last year was the injuries to LeMahieu, Benintendi, Carpenter, and, the guys in the bullpen as well. It's not just we weren't very good. It was, well, this happened. And even the players do it too. The players are guilty of it. You go back to the Astros last year, and Severino's blaming the wind. It knocked down Judge's ball, but it carried Bregman's ball over the wall for a home run. I mean, give me a break. You know what? They make a better pitch. I mean, this is what the Yankees are. It's excuses. And I feel like it's going to be more of the same after this year, depending on what happens. And I understand why fans are going to be like, well, I hope we don't make it, because then maybe there'll be actual changes. And if that happens, I'll hope for changes. But you know what? As long as we still got 2.5 months left of the season, I'm going to root for this team to make the playoffs. I don't care. So, yeah, the season may look like it's over. This was a terrible loss, the third game against the Rockies. But I'm going to hold out hope that we somehow turn it around, even though there's really no indication of that. And we are really wasting Garrett Cole. It's going to be another... It might be another failed, I don't want to say failed signing, but just like, you got Judge's prime and you got Cole's prime, and you're going to waste it. You're going to waste their primes is basically what I was trying to say. But it's not good right now. And I said that in the last episode, but... They got to figure something out, and I don't know how they're going to do it. They got to make a move soon. I don't know, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it could be. If the bullpen is not going to hold leads, it doesn't matter. They put up 7 runs and they still lost. Like they won the second game, but they scored all their runs in the first 2 innings. Their lineup is still not, producing consistently. And guys are starting to heat up a little bit, so... maybe, but, you got that going on and you got the bullpen. I mean, it's just, the team is a disaster right now. It really is a miracle that they're 6 games over. But you want to talk about, comparing this team to the 2021 team, I mean, it's right there. And, people say, oh, well, the Yankees won 92 games. Yeah, but they were hovering over 500 the whole year. They had that one stretch where when they went 2 weeks without losing a game. That's why. They really weren't that good of a team. But, they're 6 games over, 2 games out in the wild card, and they're 9 games out of first place in the division. The division's over, and hey, the Orioles might win it. But I think I'll just stop it here. That's pretty much all I wanted to get to with the Yankees. Obviously, again, I'm going to try to do as many recaps as I can possible. They got the Angels coming up, so hopefully, maybe they could win the series, maybe. But, they can't win a series with the Cardinals, the Cubs, and now the Rockies. So what makes us think that they could do it against the Angels? I don't know. We'll have to find out. I mean, the Angels are putting up a lot of runs against the Astros, and now the way our bullpen's been pitching, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So, yeah, Angels are up next. We'll see what happens, but that's all I wanted to talk about. So I'm signing off, and yeah, so hopefully better days are ahead. Have a good night, everybody, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.